Being the person to break these generational curses and these cycles and these traditions comes with a lot of responsibility that a lot of people don't seem to be talking about. So in this video, as your favorite mental health specialist, we're going to talk about the importance on why you need to always give yourself credit if you haven't been giving yourself credit recently, as well as what to do moving forward to execute this big plan, because it's a big deal and you are a big person, not physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Welcome or welcome back. Once again, it is Ty Guidance, your favorite mental health specialist. Always and only take what resonates, leave the rest, and grab your pen and your paper so we can start taking notes. The main reason why you need to start giving yourself credit before I give you the recommendations is because it is you. You see, yes, it's common to be successful. Yes, it's common to have dreams and goals and desires, but everybody is not you. So yes, you see other people doing certain things that you want to do, but you're not going to have the same outcome as them. You don't know how they got to where they are, and you don't need to. You don't need to compare yourself to anybody. Because when you realize that you are capable and you are worthy and you deserve to reap what you sow as long as you're doing the right thing, you will realize that you taking the time, you taking the energy, you deserve the world. And you have to learn how to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself credit. Showing up when you've gone through trials and tribulations, showing up when the world has done certain things to you, when you witness certain things, when you grow up and you don't have the resources, when you grow up, you don't have the tools and the guidance and the support, you compare yourself, you have to realize what that does to you psychologically, emotionally, physically, financially. Life is not fair. Yes, in the world, people should treat people respectfully and love on each other. We're all supposed to be kumbayaing, and regardless of what we believe in, regardless of how we feel about life. But that's not the reality. There is division, there is corruption, there is chaos. But instead of allowing the world and people, places, and things who don't love us and support us make us feel some type of way, learn to give yourself credit. When you give yourself the credit, when you have the validation for yourself, you don't care about how people perceive you. You don't care about how people feel. And you don't feel the need to prove yourself to the world. When you go through a significant amount of trauma, when you have to constantly handle situations alone, when you're constantly having to learn things by yourself or at your own pace, you don't need to rush. You giving yourself credit is all the validation that you need. So the first thing you have to do in order for you to give yourself credit is learn to be admirable with yourself. Learn to admire yourself, Learn to love onto yourself. Learn to pour into yourself. Yes, it's good to have family and friends and resources to help us and to guide us. But at the end of the day, we have to make these decisions for ourselves. We have to show up for ourselves. When you're the first person in your family to graduate, that's a big deal. When you're the first person to get yourself out of poverty, that's a big deal. When you don't have people showing you, when you don't have mentors, that's a big deal. When you have to learn how to be a parent, that's a big deal. When you have to learn how to go to school, that's a big deal. When you have to start a business, that's a big deal. Nothing that you do is minute. And if anybody ever made you feel that way, I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to apologize to you. And I'm going to let you know that you don't need their validation. You giving yourself credit is you learning how to believe in yourself. And if you don't know how to believe in yourself when you're watching this video, at the beginning of the video, you will towards the end. And when you continue to like this video, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. And thank you to everybody who is. Thank you to everybody who's engaging, because these videos are for you. This is educational content. Now, if you see me anywhere else on YouTube, on social media, I'm your favorite rich auntie, but over here as a mental health specialist, as an orthopedic physician, we motivate, we educate, and we inform. You giving yourself credit is not an option anymore. When you watch these videos, like I said, on this account, it needs to be intentional. What you do in life matters. And a lot of times when you weren't shown and taught how to give yourself credit, how to love yourself, how to pour in yourself, you compare yourself. You beat yourself up. You're envious of other people. You feel inadequate. You have insecurities. You have doubts. You have all these limitations. And it's like a lot of times you only are limiting yourself because you grew up a certain type of way, because you weren't shown and taught certain things. And that's not fair to you to allow people, places, and things have control over your life, authority over your life, and to make you feel like you're not deserving or that you're not capable to achieve these things. Now, of course, when you decide to do something that's unfamiliar, when you are the first person to be the multimillionaire, you are the first person to get these degrees, you are the first person to be in healthy relationships with yourself and partners and even communities, you have to realize, like I said, it's a lot of responsibility. It does come with work. And it's just like you giving yourself credit is knowing that you're putting in the work. When you give yourself credit, when you take your time, when you learn, like I said, to pour into yourself and you become a admirer of yourself, you realize, I'm doing this. I'm doing everything that I can. I'm trying my best. You're not perfect. Like, you don't have to be so hard on yourself. You don't have to judge yourself. And that's the second thing. In order for you to give yourself credit, you have to be practical about who you are. Like, yes, you may not have the resources right now. You may did come from poverty. Or even if you did have the resources and you had the tools and you're learning not to be dependent, you actually want to be your own individual. You have to realize you just wanting to do better, you just wanting to be better, it takes a lot. And this doesn't mean, once again, that any and everybody is not doing that, but you're not any and everybody. A lot of times people love to generalize people as a whole, and it's just like, yes, we all have the same 24 hours, but everyone's 24 hours doesn't look the same. Like, we are all individuals at the end of the day. So it's just like, when you realize that you are individual, when you realize that you want to do something and you're having to learn it alone, when you want to heal yourself mentally, that it's up to you to do it. And because it's up to you to do it, you don't need to rush. When giving yourself credit, like I said, you have to be practical about, okay, what's in my control? What can I do within my 24 hours? What resources do I have? Instead of focusing on what you don't. And in order for you to stop focusing on what you don't have, number one, like I said, you have to learn how to be your biggest cheerleader. If you don't have family, if you don't have friends, if you don't have the finances, if you don't believe in God, ancestors, and universe, you're going to have to believe in yourself. You're going to have to know who you are. I'm not here to force religion or spirituality, take a resonance, leave the rest, but it's like, you have to know something. You have to live for something. If not, you're going to feel like your life is purposeless, and it's not. Your life doesn't have to be like everybody else's, but you should have something that gets you going. And what gets you going, once again, it's not going to look like everybody else. So the third thing you have to do when giving yourself credit, once you learn to be your biggest cheerleader, once you realize that you don't have to compare yourself to others, once you realize what's in your control and what's not, is to embrace it. It's a journey. Life is a journey. Life is an experience. Every day you're living until you're not. Some days you're going to have good days. Some days you're going to have bad days. Like, learning to give yourself credit is to learn what you've been through. So you have to grieve. When you grieve, when you let go of old mindsets and old behaviors and old people, places, and things, it's going to make you feel some type of way. You are going to go through withdrawals. When you grow up in poverty and you decide that you want to not be in poverty, you may feel angry. You may feel frustrated. Why? Because there were certain times in your life and certain times you've experienced where you went without. Maybe you were homeless. Maybe you were hungry. This doesn't invalidate your experiences, but it's just like, don't stay there. Learning to give yourself credit is to learn that you have to continue to show up every single day. When you learn to give yourself credit every single day, it does get better. I'm telling you from experience. It gets so much better when you learn to give yourself credit every single day. And what a lot of people don't tell you about becoming successful and healing, depending on your circumstances and what it is that you're going after, it requires you to do it every day for a long time until you get to where you need to be, until you have the confidence. Don't rush trying to give yourself credit. Don't stress yourself by giving yourself credit. I need you to really sit with yourself. The same way you watch all these other videos on YouTube. I'm coming for you. You asked for a sign, you've been crying, you've been whining, you've been praying. This is it. Take it or leave it. But I need you to sit with yourself, because I'm real. People be like, oh, I'm so real. Okay, then Miley, what's good? Let's talk about it. I need you to sit with yourself, and I need you to realize where you were a year ago. I need you to realize where you were at the beginning of this year. It may not seem like a lot of progress. It may not seem like things are changing, but it's like, you're not going to see it because you're living in it a lot of times. But I need you to sit with yourself, and I need you to evaluate and to reflect what you've went through. And I need you to realize when you are in your isolation period, when you have to take your time, when you're unlearning and learning, like I said, it's a lot of responsibility. I need you to realize, how is these situations making you feel? Most importantly, stop suppressing it, to be vulnerable, and most importantly, what can you do moving forward? That's what nobody talks about. It's when you're in your season of wilderness, for those of you who are biblical, or when you're shedding, for those of you who are spiritual. Once again, take what resonates, leave the rest. We're not here to force religion or spirituality. You're allowed to believe in what you want to believe in. But it's like, you have to realize that when you're unlearning certain things about yourself in the world and just life, it requires a lot of time. It requires a lot of energy. It requires a lot of effort. Once again, you've been traumatized your entire life and you decide that you don't want to be traumatized anymore. You don't think that's going to affect you? Especially if it was psychologically, emotionally, mentally, consciously, subconsciously, financially. You grew up in poverty and now all of a sudden you want to get some money. You don't think that you're not going to have to unlearn certain patterns when it comes to money, certain limitations, certain beliefs that you have to get 2, 3, 5 jobs, that you may have to start a business, that you may have to become financially equipped, take a financial literacy class, invest into yourself. You have to realize giving yourself credit is so much more than the materials. It's so much more than the outcome. It's so much more than the actual success. It's what you had to do to get to where you are and who you had to be. So when giving yourself credit, learn to be patient. That's how you're going to learn how to give yourself credit. That's what nobody talks about. A lot of people are impatient. A lot of people are impulsive. A lot of people are frustrated. When I had to heal myself from certain circumstances that I did not want to be in, all I could do was be patient, because there was only so much that I could possibly do. When you're doing everything in your power to get yourself out of these situations and things are still not happening when you want them to, you have to allow it to be what it is. If it's in your control, then it's in your control. You can come up with a solution. You can do certain things. But sometimes some things are not going to be in your control. And instead of crashing out, instead of being angry, instead of hurting and harming the people who did the things that they did to me, I just realized, you know what? I just need to be patient. I'm still going to give myself credit. I'm still going to be proud of myself. I'm still going to be practical, because I can't afford to be stressed. I can't afford to be sick. I can't afford to be broke. I just can't afford anything that's not in alignment of who I am. And when you know who you are, you know what's for you, you know what's not. You know who's for you and who's not. You're not going to allow certain people, places, and things who don't give themselves credit to make you feel less of a person. Make it make sense. Start giving yourself credit, like going to school, getting degrees. Rather, you went to school for 2 years, 4 years, 10 years. Once again, yes, it considered to be common amongst society, but if everybody was doing it, which a lot of people are not, they wouldn't judge you. They wouldn't have so much to say. You're the one who has to take the exams. You're the one who has a 7 a.m. class on a Tuesday. You're the one who has to work 2 jobs. You're the one who had to go back to school. You're the one who has to do whatever it is that you have to do. You're the one who has to go to the gym 7 days a week, 5 days a week, 2 hours straight, 5 hours straight. You're the one who has to take 10,000 steps in a week, in a day. You're the one who had to lose the weight and gain the weight. Like, it's you. It's not anybody else. I'm the one who had to break these financial blockages and limitations, not nobody else. And unless you've done it before, which once again, like I said, is common to the person who is doing it, but to the people who are not, you don't have no say so. And if you are the person who yaps and judge people and you don't give yourself credit and you want to start giving yourself credit, stop worrying about everybody else. Start taking these notes. Start taking what resonates. Put your pride and your ego to the side and do what you need to do. Because the people, like I said, that you are looking at and you're like, oh my God, they're doing this, they're doing that. They're doing it. they're doing it. Rather, they're doing it the right or wrong way. That's their business. That's not for us to judge them, because in due time, everything is going to be revealed. But it is what it is. You don't have to worry about other people and not feeling like you're not good enough when you start to give yourself credit. So I need you to start giving yourself credit. How are you going to start giving yourself credit? You're going to accept what you've gone through. You're going to hold yourself accountable. You're going to learn to be responsible. This is a mature account. This is an educational account. If you don't want to be mature, you don't want to be held accountable, it's not for you. But send it and share this video to somebody who is. Make sure, you continue to like these videos. Thank you for commenting down below. Thank you for turning on your post notification and your subscribing, as well as following me on all social media platforms. All the information will be down in the description box below. Thank you for booking your services and your sessions. Make sure you guys are reading the policy. There's no confusion. I don't know why I'm like getting tongue tied. All the information will be down in the description box below. And make sure to follow me on social media if I haven't already said that. I will be answering you guys' questions on live, so follow me on my TikTok and my Instagram. Once again, it will be down in the description box down below. If you don't, let me know in the comment section until we reach our goal here on YouTube, which we'll be reaching any day now, in order for me to go live and answer you guys' questions. But more of the video, start giving yourself more credit. Stop beating yourself up. Stop being so hard on yourself. Realize what's in your control, realize what's not in your control, and just live in the moment. That's all you can do. All you can do is live in the moment until you get to where you need to be and you do what you need to do, and you're willing to let go of what it is you need to let go of. So if you guys want me to make a part 2 or to continue this video, let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, what we need to learn, what we need to focus on, and to stay tuned for further videos. Okay, until next time.